Robert Pattinson is the best Batman. I'm going to go over characters, action, some of the things I didn't like, some of the gadgets, and just some random stuff at the end. So here we go. Batman is incredible. This is the first time that Batman has ever really been like a good detective. I think, so this Batman does actually kill a few people. There's a few shots that he like either dodges out of the way, and I think both of the other guys shoot each other. Spoilers. I didn't say that earlier, but it should be in the title. Spoilers. There's another shot where he like grabs the gun and the goon like fires at another goon, and I'm pretty sure he kills him. Not a big deal to me. We'll get into more Batman stuff. The whole thing is about Batman. We'll get into it. So he doesn't have the Bruce Wayne like Playboy mask yet. Riddler even says, "I'm getting to see you for who you are." Like the mask is actually who you really are. And the Bruce Wayne of it all is not who you really are. I really like this Catwoman. I'm not sure I can put my finger on it because, you know, maybe she reminds me of somebody that I had a crush on. This is a really good character. She's badass, but also she has a lot of vulnerability to her. Her chemistry with Batman is really good. She doesn't come off as just like sexy for the sake of being sexy. Like she uses it to her advantage, especially like in the club scene, where she's just like trying to get information and flirting with people in order to get information. It makes sense. I did find it kind of funny that like she's just dropping regular dudes just with like one kick to the head. Whereas like, to be fair, Batman is armored, but he's just like blocking everything. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that, but also it made me go, whenever she knocked out a guy just with one hit because Batman just blocked everything. So great, really great. She's smart. She has her own goals. She doesn't just go after Batman because, I don't know, she has a crush on him. Like she does develop a crush on him, and I think he likes her too. Unfortunately, he like goes in for a kiss at the end and she like rejects him and says you should go. So sadness, but it was good while it lasted. I really like their relationship. Alfred, dude, freaking Andy Serkis just kills it. Whenever he's in anything, he disappears into the role even when he's not wearing a CG, you know, full body mask. And when he's like actually getting to use his own face. I forgot until just now he was Ulysses Claw because they're such different characters and he does it so well. The emotion of his scene with Bruce, and when Bruce basically is like, I care about you and I love you and I was really afraid when I thought I was going to lose you, you know, in his own words, you know, not very emotional because Bruce is very like keeps everything close to the chest right now and he's just very like brooding and emo. He reached out and, you know, just seeing the tears in this man's eyes, just so good, just so good. The Riddler is he's scary, he's smart. The riddles that they give him that he comes up with are really good. Again, I like that Batman, like he figures them out. He's a detective. He notices things that aren't just like, oh, I figured out the riddle, right? The murder weapon, he sees that it has like an edge on it, and he's like, that will match the edge on the floorboard of like the mayor's office or his study. Just like little things that he observes at the crime scene that he like puts together. And whenever like somebody gives him new information, he like immediately uses it in the investigation. Like the one guy is like, oh yeah, that's an edger. And he's like, holy crap, there must be something under the rug. And he just grabs it and he rips it up. And he finds out the end game of the whole thing. Also, Alfred like taught Batman how to fight. I think that's a cool like addition. I'm sure that's happened in the comics and other stuff before, but it's a cool inclusion. Freaking Colin Farrell as the Penguin is just great. He's where a lot of the humor comes from. There's a little bit of humor from Gordon, like his dry humor. There's a part where one of the police officers, like they're at the crime scene, and he's like shining a light on the body, and he like turns around and like Batman is there and he just goes, excuse me. and Batman just like slowly sort of creeps back just a little bit. That was pretty funny. So just little things like that. But Penguin has a lot of the sort of overtly jokey almost type of lines that are supposed to be funny. Like the Riddler, whenever there's a couple of parts where he's just like, and vengeance has and he just like goes too far and kind of goes too campy, and it got some laughs out of the audience. I didn't mind that because he's just he's chewing so much scenery and I'm just really enjoying it. But I feel like that could take some people out of it. But to me, it was just funny and I liked it. The Penguin just yelling at Gordon and Batman and just being like, "A rada, huh? Is this guy stupid? How dumb do you have to be to make that Spanish mistake, huh?" It's just great. I loved it. I loved it so much. Gordon, going back to Gordon, Jeffrey Wright really, I don't know, he comes off as like a good dude who's trying to do the right thing. He's tough but he like believes in Batman, and I don't know, man, like just a really solid job. I also love his sort of relationship with and almost banter with Batman, because there's a part where they go into the orphanage and Gordon pulls out his gun, and of course Batman, because this is a good Batman adaptation, Batman goes, "No guns," and Gordon just looks at him like, "That's your thing, man." Like, and the way he says it, he's like, "Dude, I'm terrified. I'm gonna have my gun out. You can be stupid and not have a gun. That's fine. That's your thing. I'm gonna have a gun because this is dangerous." So I really like that, and him being like you trust me, because Batman is like, "Don't you trust me? Like you trust me, man?" I love when he calls him man. Just like, come on, man. I don't even know who you are, man, and it's been 2 years. Just love it. Their chemistry is great. This is the whole joke, really. There's like a meme at this point that Gotham, or like the city, is a character, but it really is. The look of Gotham being so like, it's reminiscent of New York. It's more New York than Chicago, like The Dark Knight was. The Dark Knight was very Chicago, but this one, this Gotham has like a Times Square even, and there's a lot of like very gothic like architecture, inspiration as far as like the Wayne Manor, and like even like the dining room is just very like spiky, and like it's all, most of that is like wood, I think, but still, like, it's very gothic, and I really appreciated that. Just like a giant table that is like made out of marble and probably weighs 2 tons for like no reason. Well, I guess probably didn't weigh 2 tons because he was able to move it. It was very heavy, like just ridiculous. I really enjoyed that, and how I guess sort of the more the set direction and things like the art direction. The bat symbol looked like somebody could have actually made it, and it wasn't like I don't know, Gordon had to like go online and like special order like this, bat signal from somebody. And then I feel like logistically that would be really difficult, because you're like, "Hey, I know Batman," basically just, putting that out on the internet. But it looks like somebody took like a piece of like sheet metal or something and just like cut it real jagged and ugly, and then like just took some like maybe like bolt cutters and just cut like pieces out of this spotlight, and then just like shoved it in there, and it looks like it just like gets really hot, and it's just like a super like huge industrial. It's really cool that it looks real, it feels real, it feels like something that I would have been able to come up with and like put together. So just sort of like fleshes out the world for me. Mr. and Mrs. Wayne also get a little bit of development. I didn't know that Mrs. Wayne was like, her maiden name was Arkham, Arkham Asylum, the founding families of Gotham City. It's very cool. I really like that little tidbit, and like her backstory, even though it was like the Riddler trying to expose Batman and Bruce Wayne and the Wayne family and take them down. I really enjoyed that little bit of backstory from the Riddler. So thank you, Riddler. Rot in jail, but other than that, thank you. The action in this movie is really good. The hand-to-hand stuff was, and even the voice a little bit that Pattinson puts on, Rabat Bat and Bat, for you people who watch the Weekly Planet. If you don't listen to the Weekly Planet, you should. Rabat Bat and Bat puts on this voice that's very similar to the Daredevil voice. More often than sometimes it creeps into Christian Bale's like, "I'm Batman," because when he goes, I'm vengeance. It's very Christian Bale Batman. And it's cool, but I appreciate that he doesn't always do that. Anyway, the hand-to-hand stuff's really good. The hallway where it's dark and it's very Darth Vader actually from Rogue One, because you just see like flashes, and I don't know. It's cool. I feel like they took a lot of Darth Vader for the theme. The theme sounds very much like Darth Vader. Check out my TikTok for more on that. I'm gonna make a video on that. It's probably up by now. Since this video is going to take a whole lot longer to make than a TikTok. The car chase with the Penguin is probably my favorite piece of action in this whole thing. Other than Batman and Catwoman kissing, my favorite piece of action. The only thing that I have like a drawback for that scene is I feel like I lost where Batman was in his car at some point towards the beginning, when I think they like split off, and then the camera angle is like next to the car, looking past the rear view mirror or the side mirror. I just lost where everybody was, and that was a little annoying. And the like ramp, I'm not going in order. This is just whatever. The ramp that Batman just conveniently gets, when all of the cars crash into each other because the Penguin like caused a terrible accident that probably killed like 10 people. That ramp was just kind of stupid. I get it, it's a superhero movie, but I don't know. It just pushed it just a little bit. Other than that, the music and like the pounding of Batman's theme. We're gonna get to themes. When the whole thing starts, and just seeing the Penguin just like freaking out, like, oh my gosh. And then when he thinks that he got Batman, he's like, yeah, you son of a, I got you. Oh, it's good. It's so good. I loved it so much. That Batcar is so intimidating, and again looks like something that somebody could have like cobbled together and didn't have to like send off to R&D or specially make. And it's just like kind of cheesy because it doesn't look like somebody who just started being Batman like made this. They explain it away in The Dark Knight, but I still think this is cooler. I appreciate the lived-in nature of it all. It's very cool. The gliding, again, very cool. I'm not sure how I feel about the like camera angle where like it fixes on his face and like everything else like moves around him. I don't know about that. And they do that a couple of times. I really like the POV shots. Those are really cool. But the like, fixed camera angle on the head, like he's wearing a GoPro, And then when he crashes, I like the wingsuit. The wingsuit is probably just as cool as not Keaton, but Christian Bale's like wings that come out of his cape that just are like magnetic. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The wingsuit also comes out of nowhere. It just like vacuums to his body, and it just, I don't know where it came from, but having a wingsuit makes more sense than trying to make a glider out of your cape. Whatever. It's cool. When he smacks into the top of that overpass, though, I don't know about that. He would have died or at least been knocked out, because like he smacked into that like light over the overpass. He hit so hard and he tumbled so many times. Looked like a CG shot, by the way. If it was, very well used. Yeah, just broke, again, my suspension of disbelief just a little bit. Like, he would have been brutally injured by that. Okay, I went over the corridor. The bar scene, also very cool. Just the thumping of the music, and then, all the punches kind of either lining up or syncopating with it. It's very cool. Very cool. All right, gadgets. I went over a couple of them, like the car, but the motorcycle, also very cool. I went with some coworkers, and they pointed out that the the like ears that the motorcycle has, if you crashed on that thing, you're probably getting stabbed. So not a very good idea. Very impractical, but it looks very cool. The like grappling hooks he's got, I think he's got several of them because he uses a bunch of them in the same scene, and probably it looks like he just leaves them there. There's one that's magnetic. There's one that's more of a grappling hook. He has like a taser in his hand somehow. It's very cool. I think like all of them are like around his like gauntlet. Very cool. His utility belt just has like little snaps in it, and it just makes sense. He has like a little like vial of adrenaline, I'm assuming. It kind of looked like Venom to me, like what Bane uses. Bane, right here. That was cool. Like he was gonna like go to sleep because Catwoman was like, it's over, it's fine. And then it's not over, and he pulls out the thing and EpiPens himself, and it's great. It makes a whole lot of sense that he would have something like that. I think it was a baton. He had like a baton that didn't. I was like, where did that come from? The flare that he has, pretty cool. Again, I was like, gosh, where did that come from? The batarang, I really like the batarang in the middle of his chest as like an emblem. Again, like it makes it like there's a practical reason for him to have like a big logo on in the middle. There's also that thing where it like draws fire because he's got like he doesn't cover his mouth. He does cover it with his hands whenever he's getting shot at. That's cool. I don't know how he gets it out of there because like it seems to be magnetic and it just sticks to him by magnetism. But it doesn't seem to like slide out or anything. This is another thing that I brought up to my coworkers, and they're like, "It just slides out and it comes out." It's just but it didn't look like it slid at all. There's like an indent of the shape of the bat symbol, and it just fits in there. There's no sliding. Doesn't make any sense. Still very cool. I like it. I can't wait to see him throw it, hopefully in the next one. Okay, just some lows before I go back to just completely glowing about this movie. I mentioned the gliding didn't really make a whole lot of sense, where he like just smacked into that so hard and he was fine. The convenient ramp that he goes over with the car, and there's a bomb that goes off in his face. The DA gets blown up and Batman is just fine. Like, again, he like shields his face, but I have a hard time believing that he didn't get any like shrapnel or anything right in here. Just doesn't really make any sense. Again, fine, whatever. It's a movie. I'm really surprised that this isn't rated R. I feel like there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of dead bodies and a lot of talking about blood and a lot of blood like smeared on the walls and stuff. I guess you could pass it off to the MPAA as like it's paint or something. It definitely wasn't paint. There's like a severed thumb. Just I'm very surprised that they didn't go R with this. Like just the two F words will do it, but not a severed thumb and several dead bodies. Okay, whatever, MPAA, whatever. Okay, back to the good stuff. The cinematography is just off the charts. I don't actually know who the DP is on this, and I'm sorry, but dude, you did such a great job. And I feel like a lot of this is going to go to Matt Reeves, the director, but just incredible. All the shots in the trailer, like you get an idea about how pretty this movie is. How well shot and like artful all of the composition is. Let's say that. I don't know if it was pretty. It's very dark and gritty and gross, but the part where he has Batman has the flare and everybody's like following him out, that's very cool. Again, the corridor scene with all the muzzle flash, very cool. It's just a well shot movie, and I really like it. It's very cool. Every frame of painting, dude. Freaking it. All of this movie deserves to be on the Twitter account is actually called One Perfect Shot, I believe. Not Every Frame of Painting. Every Frame of Painting is a really good YouTube channel. Has been dormant for a really long time. You should subscribe probably if he ever comes back, or you should at least watch his videos. Very good. Okay, I'm pretty sure I skipped over the themes. Everybody gets a theme in this movie. Batman's theme is very Darth Vader. Catwoman gets a theme as well, and it's almost like a love theme, which I really enjoy. And maybe that's like, maybe people won't like that very much because, because she's a woman, she gets a love theme or something. I don't know. Like Leia's theme is kind of a love theme. No, but like they also, like Han and Leia also get a love theme, I think. So It's a very pretty theme, and it's very like sentimental, and I really like it. The Riddler also gets a theme, which is it's very unnerving, especially for me as a Catholic, because they use Ave Maria and they make it creepy. Maybe it still has that effect for everybody else, but I feel like it's even more because it's almost like sacrilegious, because it's being used for, or like a villain is using it as a part of his murders and as a part of his theme, like his ongoing, like whatever. And yeah, it just makes it just so much creepier that it's supposed to be like this, like pretty, to someone who's holy, like song. Just, ugh. Just, ugh. Terrible. But it's very effective, as you can see. Okay, so the random stuff at the end to wrap us up. Batman always gets up. I love it. It's my favorite thing about superheroes whenever, like, because Superman doesn't really have this. Some superheroes don't have this where they get, like, beaten down just because they're, like, too powerful. But, like, they get beaten down, and even though they could give up, and they probably should because they've got a concussion and, multiple contusions, and maybe they got stabbed or whatever, they should probably give up, but they never give up, and it's awesome. I love it. I love it so much. Daredevil has that. Spider-Man has that. And this Batman has that. I love it. It's so good. I think it's interesting that Batman kind of loses at the end. Like, he figures it out, but he's not able to stop it. But he, like, learns things at the end, I guess. Like, he learns that vengeance isn't the answer. Like, revenge is not going to bring anybody back, and it's not going to help anything. And so he's trying to save this city from itself and from crime in general, but from eating itself alive. But he basically figures out that he's been doing it the wrong way, and he gets to where, like, Christian Bale's Batman kind of starts out at, where he's like, people need a symbol of hope. Or maybe Bale's Batman doesn't do that. I don't know. There's a lot of like, the people need a symbol or whatever. I like that this kind of serves as an origin story, but we also get to see Batman already Batmaning, and it's a good balance of the two. And I think it's interesting that they let Batman lose, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel unsatisfying, because he does triumph over a lot of things, and he does catch the bad guy, but he doesn't really stop the end game. Maybe the end game doesn't really matter because it's like just a bunch of bombs going off. He does save a lot of people in the big arena, so it's kind of a balance. The Riddler gets a lot of what he wants, but he doesn't change people's hearts. Okay, so maybe that's the thing. Batman takes a step forward in winning back the soul of Gotham before it gets harder, as Catwoman points out. It's going to get harder because there's going to be a power grab, blah, blah, blah. But he takes a step forward, and the Riddler doesn't triumph, doesn't, like, just take out the city completely and, kill it and destroy its soul. So overall, it's a win. I think it's interesting. Voiceover, very cool. Very noir, but also I talked about, or maybe this video hasn't come out. This video hasn't come out yet. I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and why I love the 90s cartoon so much. And part of that is the Spider-Man, like, talking to himself and therefore talking to the audience. I really enjoy that aspect of Spider-Man, and they brought that in with his Batman. It's very cool. And we get to hear, like, some of his thoughts, because he doesn't really talk much, especially as Batman. He's a man of few words. People even point this out a couple of times, adds to the humor, or they're like, the Catwoman's like, don't you ever say hello? And somebody else remarks that he like just sneaks up on them and just starts talking. It's like, oh wow, happy to see you too. Yeah, I really like that. And they build it into the story with, like, he's like taking logs, kind of like a detective, like the noir thing. Just very cool. I really like it. The Joker tease, not so much. I don't know about this. I've seen too many scenes at this point of, like, creepy dude in a cell, and especially with DC actually. And he's just like laughing or like coming up with a plan, or in this case, both. Adrian Toomes does that in one of the Spider-Man movies. I think it was, Homecoming, when he talks to the guy who's eventually going to become the Scorpion. We see with a Raggedy Ann wig at the end of Venom, you get to see Carnage, and he's in a jail and whatever. It's just, oh my gosh. Neither of those are DC. Lex Luthor at the end of one of the Batman v Superman, I think. One of them, he's in a cell, and there's a tease that he's going to be back. Okay, just too many at this point. And I don't know. I couldn't take it seriously. It felt like the Joker didn't fit. I don't know what it was, because they didn't even show him really, so I don't even know if he looks dumb or anything. It just didn't land with me. I'm not sure what it was, but hopefully he's good. Hopefully the next Batman is good, because they're gonna make another one of these. This was so good. And I think there's gonna be like 2 spin-off TV shows, which is stupid, but hopefully they make a movie sequel. Everybody knew he was Batman by the end, right? Because it was like all over the Riddler's wall. And so I feel like Gotham PD should know that he's Batman. I don't know what you do with that. And finally, Batman helps at the end. He helps with the humanitarian efforts. I don't know what it is exactly that I like so much about that, but just like superheroes doing normal things that help out. I feel like we don't see that very much. It's very much like kill the light in the blue light in the sky, and keep the asteroid from falling out of the sky, and kill the alien army or whatever. That the Avengers have done all that stuff. And maybe there's a get everybody out, and then one of the characters starts getting people out. But just I'm gonna light a flare, and we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna lead the way out, and then I'm gonna help some people get airlifted out. I don't know. Batman just helping out. I feel like Batman really doesn't do that. Yeah. So I just enjoyed that. Just cool. Just a superhero doing good things and not just like beating up bad guys. It's cool. I like it. So overall, really good movie. Really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, you should still see it. It's 3 hours of content. This was hopefully like 20 minutes of content, just like talking about it. You should go see it. It's really cool. It has all the things. It has good action. It has good acting. It has a good version of Batman. The superheroes have themes. It's just great. Go see it. And thank you for watching this. If you like this, leave a like. If you want to see more of this, subscribe. I also have a podcast and a TikTok. I will leave those. Actually, I'll put the thingies right here. And until next time, God love you.